Yo, what's going on, guys? Your boy JT coming at you again with another video. In this video, I'm gonna break down Timothy Bradley versus Juan Manuel Marquez. First off, again, I just want to say everyone should be very, very excited about the sport of boxing and what's going on and these fights that are coming up. Very, very impressive fights that are being made, and you only could give credit to these promotional companies for making these fights that fans want to see. With that said, let's go ahead and break down the fight. I see this fight is going to be a very, very close fight. Don't buy into the hype or what everyone's saying. Like I said, on my channel, on fights I break down, I'm going off of facts. This is not about this person is from this state or this city, or this person is this race, this person. I'm a fan of the sport, the sport first instead of particular boxers. I mean, I have boxers that I am a fan of, but I've been watching the sport of boxing for the sport of boxing. I don't watch the sport just for a particular fighter. So, in other words, I'm just being honest. How I really see it is not based on bias or anything like that. So, anyway, let's just go ahead here, and I'm just try to tell you how this fight's gonna play out, how I see it. I see Marquez, he's a very, very experienced fighter. I don't have his record right now. I'm on my way to work, but I know he has 50-something wins. I think 5 or 6 defeats. But he does have the 40 KOs. I know that for sure. So people were shocked. I know a lot of people were shocked when he knocked out Manny Pacquiao ice cold, but if you are a fan of boxing and you watch the sport, you would know that Marquez, he has 40 KOs. So he's winning. He has a very high KO percentage. So he stops a lot of people. So you could just take that how you want it. He has knockout power. I know a lot of people want to say, they have all the controversy with all the drug testing, which I'll speak on that. I think that's bullshit. If it's no different from when Pacquiao and Mayweather and that whole situation went down. We all know about that situation and what happened. So why would you, as a fighter, would not want to prove that you're a clean athlete? That only raises eyebrows. It has to, it has to pull up red flags. I mean, if you're a clean athlete, all the controversy surrounding Manny Pacquiao when people were saying he was doing certain things, and then you turn around and you don't want to take the test. I mean, it's in the best interest of the sport. But I guess now they're saying Bob Arum is saying that he's saying that they have all these straightened out and they're going to use the Nevada State Commission. Mind you, the test that everyone beats, they're going to pay them a certain amount of money so they could do more strenuous testing. Take that how you want it. And Bradley's still going to go on with the VADA and USADA test. But that's another story. Let's get back to the fight. Okay. This is how I see it going. Juan Manuel Marquez, if you look at Juan Manuel Marquez, the problem he has, he is an excellent counterpuncher, but he lacks defense. That's something that you never really see. A guy who, you know, he's willing to counterpunch and fight a counterpunching style, but he gets hit flush all the time, all the time. And if you just look back at his fights, like I said, I don't have his record or any of his box rec stuff right here in front of me. I'm just going off the top of my head. But if you look at Juan Manuel Marquez's, you look at the fights you look at all his fights, at least over the last 7 or 8 years. You can even go back further than that. I know a lot of people, if you read the comments on these fights, you read the comments about this fight on different websites, a lot of people are saying some wild, off-the-wall ass shit, They're saying Bradley's going to get knocked out, this and that. But the thing is this, Juan Manuel Marquez, he struggles in every fight. When have you seen Juan Manuel Marquez just go in there and outbox a guy easily, and it just makes it look easy? You don't see that because he doesn't do it. Every fight, you can look back, just go back. Look at Michael Caceres. A fight that, if you look at those two fighters, you would think that, man, they say Juan Manuel Marquez is the number two or three pound for pound fighter, and he's been that way for a long time, for years, and he's going life and death with Michael Caceres. You look at Casamayor, he struggled with Casamayor. You look at Freddie Norwood. All his fights, once you hit Marquez, everything goes out the window. It's like they say, everyone has a game plan until he gets hit, and that's Marquez. Once he gets hit, he wants to trade, and he wants to brawl it out. So when people try to run that, oh, Marquez is a counter puncher, you're trying to run that shit by me, it means nothing to me, because like I said, when has Marquez just went in there, counterpunch, and made an easy fight out of anybody? Just look at his fights. And then you got Tim Bradley. Now, this is how I know when people don't know shit about boxing. When people say that Tim Bradley is a boxer, Tim Bradley is not a boxer. He's not. Look at his fights. It raises a question. Do certain people even watch fights? Tim Bradley boxed one fight, and that was Manny Pacquiao. But you look at all his other fights, Devin Alexander, you look at Devin Alexander, Lamont Peterson, all those fights. He won those fights. I can't remember the other guy he fought, the puncher guy he fought at 147. I can't remember his name. But you look at those fights, Bradley beat those guys because he pressured them. Bradley is a pressure fighter. He brings hellacious pressure. He puts pressure on the opponent, and he just makes it an ugly, ugly fight, But he does have the ability to box. But in all his big fights, excluding the one with Manny Pacquiao, he pressures the opponent. And Provodnikov, which was a complete joke. But I honestly believe in the Provodnikov fight that Bradley, he was feeling the heat from the fans and HBO, so he went out there and he tried to knock Provodnikov out, and he learned his lesson. So I don't look too much into that. I think Bradley learned his lesson from that fight, and I don't think he's gonna come in there reckless abandon on Juan Manuel Marquez. for the prediction for this fight, I see Bradley winning by split decision again. Everyone's going to be mad once again. I see Bradley going to win another tough, close decision. And I'm going to tell you why. If this fight was 5-6 years ago, I think Marquez would probably knock Bradley out. If this was 5 or 6 years ago. But I think at 40 years old, the amount of pressure, the relentlessness, the courage, and the heart of Tim Bradley is going to be too much for a 40-year-old Juan Manuel Marquez. I just don't see him dealing with that right now. You know, I think it's just a little bit too much. And then he's saying, oh, I'll take the test. I'll take the test if you only can rehydrate 10 pounds. I mean, what that tells me a lot right there. That tells me you're either not confident in your abilities or you want something. You know? Because if you look at the face-off of these two fighters, Bradley is much, much, much bigger than Marquez. So I just see Bradley being too much right now. You know, I know we don't know if Bradley, can come back from that devastating fight with Provodnikov, but, I have confidence that he'll be back. He'll be back to the same Bradley. He's going to fight smart. He's going to box. He's going to put pressure on Marquez. And he's going to, he's going to bring the heat. He's not going to stop. The only way I see Marquez winning this fight is by constantly hurting Bradley and possibly knocking him out. But other than that, I see Bradley winning by split decision, causing more controversy, and that's how I see it. I see everyone mad once again at Bradley. So, tell me what you guys think. It's your boy JT, man. I'm out. Before I go, let me make a few more points. I just feel that Marquez, he only gets up for Pacquiao. I mean, he's gonna only perform like he's been performing with Pacquiao. Pacquiao brings the best out of Marquez. Bradley and Pacquiao are completely different fighters. And let me reiterate about the size differential. Understand that in Marquez's last fight, he came in at, I believe, 143. And my point is, he's barely even making 147. He's really 140 pounds or a lightweight. He can still make lightweight. Bradley, when he fought Provodnikov, he looked very, very huge. He was over 100 and pushing 160. He was like 157. So that's what I'm saying. I just feel that Marquez, he is just a lot right now when you're 40 years old. Don't get me wrong. He's still a great fighter, and he's an all-time great and a legend. But I just don't see him winning this fight. Yeah, and like I said, you got Bradley. If you look at his fights, he brings the heat. You look at him with Abregu. I just remembered the names, Abregu and Kendall Holt, and fights like that, Lamont Peterson, they just couldn't deal with the pressure in the heart, and, he leads in with his head and things like that. But like I said, I just don't see, I don't see Marquez dealing with it. But, like I said, it took him 4 times to figure out Manny Pacquiao and to knock him out, if you think it was legit. I don't know, honestly. I mean, I thought it was legit until, he started playing this, musical chairs with this drug test with Tim Bradley. I thought he was legit, but I don't know now. So, that's it. I'm going to end it right here, y'all. I mean, I'm out, y'all. It's your boy JT. Peace.